today's their closing day. Proud of them. So they actually just closed another deal, last week?
Yeah, last week. This one today, the next one tomorrow.
Badass. So these guys have been cranking. They came to me 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago, and they're like, hey, we want to start investing. And so joined my mentorship, and then like 30 days later, they were ready to start buying deals. So this deal actually, you guys locked this up on a Facebook ad?
We ran an ad kind of to target properties like this. We came across a distressed seller who wanted to sell her home, either going to sell it or get rid of it with the bank. Luckily, we came upon this deal. We bought it for, what was it, 97? Ended up being like 100 some thousand after her payoff. Some surprise came out. And then we're going to end up netting about 54 on this one.
And that's pretty much when we made that first video, that's about what you guys were estimating as well. And it was like, I remember talking about it, it was going to be hard to lose on this deal just because you guys had so much spread. Like, you made your money when you guys bought this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, I talk about that a lot. Like, I think a lot of investors, when they buy deals, they're buying them too thin where they don't have an option to go and sell it. Like, you guys could have sold this to me and made 10, 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
Or put it on market and made the same amount, but instead you guys did the flip. So, but you guys ran your numbers correctly. So,
Yeah.
So you guys painted the exterior?
No, we left
Oh,
it.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
we left it how it was.
Yeah.
It was kind of a 50-50 toss-up. We could have painted it.
Yeah, that was one thing that I noticed. I know you guys had the gray exterior and then gray interior. I personally don't love gray on flips. Obviously, they still sold it, and you guys sold it for top of comps as well. But you weren't super motivated to sell it, and so you guys just kind of waited. It sat on market for a little bit.
For like 70 days.
70,
like
yeah.
That. It was surprising. There's a 2-1 that sold for 170. I was like, why is this one not selling? But we were pushing the higher comps, and we stuck with it because we weren't in a rush, and it sold.
Yeah, ended up selling. Actually, my agent sold it, so I'm making money today as well. Shout out Sarah. Did a great job on it. So exterior, you pretty much left alone. Did you guys do anything on the exterior? Replace roof or?
We repaired some soffit. That's about it.
Yeah.
We thought we were gonna get knocked on the inspection for the roof. We didn't really. It was actually a pretty easy going buyer, VA buyer. The bank didn't knock them on anything either, so we didn't have to do many repairs. We just gave them 2,500 seller credits.
This was pretty light flip overall.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't a ton to it.
We probably put about 14,000 of work into this. That's including labor and material.
Dude, talk about y'all's contractor that you guys found.
Yeah, our contractor's a beast. So again, we found him off of Facebook, and what we did was we were going to buy one of his houses. It just didn't end up working out, and so
we didn't know he was a contractor at that point, though.
Yeah, and our mom ran into him at a Dollar General and invited him to our church.
Dude, that's awesome.
And so we ended up letting him come bid this. He gave us a pretty good price.
It was like $7,000 or something?
Yeah, it was like $7,000 just labor, and we put like 3,000-4,000 material.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I mean, the house was in pretty okay shape.
Yeah. Mechanicals were in good shape.
Yeah.
I remember you guys got to keep this granite here.
We kept the cabinets.
Yeah. New hinges and hardware. You can see that makes a big difference. I like the little two-tone colors that you guys did as well here. That's cute. You picked that out, Pablo? Yeah, that was a Pablo. Okay. New dishwasher. Did you guys do new stove as well?
Yeah, we did new everything.
Nice.
We put electrical cans up throughout the whole house.
What are those, like 1-inch can lights?
Yeah, these ones are more in style. The bigger ones are kind of phasing out.
Huh.
And so he went ahead and put these smaller ones because they
like them.
They look fancier, I guess, is what he says.
And new luxury vinyl plank. Where'd you guys get this from?
Floor and decor?
Yeah.
I think we got it from, like, I don't know, some Rudy fixed.
Yeah.
I believe it was floor and decor.
That's where we buy ours at. Yeah.
I think it was like bought somehow.
Bob's
I
Floor?
think it was
Yeah.
We got a good deal on them for sure.
Yeah, if you guys have any local suppliers, flooring suppliers where you guys are at, I would recommend calling around because those local flooring suppliers sometimes have like A, blowout sales, or B, they just have really good competitive pricing. Much better than if you guys went to like Lowe's or anything like that. And then, did you guys retexture at all, or is this the same texture?
He retextured a little bit.
Yeah.
Mostly in the rooms. Out there, we kept it all.
Took popcorn ceiling out.
Nice. Yeah, you can tell it's very textured. It looks good. Yeah, this color was the one thing that I was like,
yeah, this one.
It's not bad by any means, but I just feel like this is like a 2022, 2023 color.
Our mom helped us pick out the paint.
Okay.
And so I was telling my brother the other day, gray is more like a Mexican tone. Like Mexicans like this because we did it. We have a real estate team as well, and we shot some content at a house that had this similar gray paint color. And my aunt goes out and comments on our video, says, "I love the color."
Hey, well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
So it's definitely more of like a Hispanic thing. Like they
makes
think,
sense.
"Oh, this color's awesome," but I guess you're niching it out of that.
Like
It's
universal,
probably
yeah.
different.
It's either this or bright yellow.
Universal for a flip. I like to use like a white. White is perfect. I'm glad you guys didn't do bright yellow. That'd be,
Yeah, our other ones,
bad.
or our other like flip we're working on now, we're doing white.
Nice, nice. So they were running a lot of Facebook ads, and then they dialed them back because they were like, "We have all these deals. I bought one deal from y'all. You guys made like 10 grand on that.
Yeah.
And then you guys just wholesaled that deal last week. How much did you guys make on that?
That one we ended up making 31,000. So wholesale.
these people
What
who
we
don't know.
did in that situation is we went ahead and just bought the house cash. We bought it for 95 under market. Again, he found a deal on Facebook and we went ahead and closed it. Didn't have to do any work. It was pretty similar to this one. Ready to limit. People were already renting it out, and so we just bought it at 97. Went ahead and just listed on market for 145. It ended up selling for 138.
Nice.
All cash deal again, so that was pretty quick and easy. And we ended up making 31 off of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So instead of like wholesaling where you sell it to another, if they would have sold that to me, maybe they make like 10 grand. They took it to market, which where you're going to get more exposure. You do have more exposure yourself. You have to buy it, but typically you're going to make more money if you take it to market. So they took it to market and made 31,000 without really doing anything.
Yeah, and the
That's
big thing there is if you're sitting on a deal and you don't really know what to do with it, because that deal we did send out to, I think you and a couple other guys. People like you and us like probably won't buy it because there's not enough meat on the bones. For us, luckily we're licensed agents as well, so we don't pay 6% commission. We pay the 3%. You could maybe look at that route instead of just not closing it. Close it and list it, and you probably find a good mom and pop investor that will pay.
We're wholesaling too. So the one we sold and the one we're selling tomorrow, that one's a wholesale too. We were a little worried about that one at first because we thought we bought it too high and there wasn't enough room for a flip. And
Oh, that was the one in Bethany.
Yeah.
We ran the numbers on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I wouldn't flip it.
yeah. So we found a local investor.
I teach to run them very conservatively, but for some investors, like the numbers they're looking at, like his buyer is going to Airbnb the property. And so he's not necessarily looking at what we would look at with equity and cash flow on a long-term rental, which I do still think matters a lot, but they were looking at how much is this getting cash flow on an Airbnb, and they felt comfortable with it. So it made sense for that investor. So, yeah. And then that one tomorrow, you guys just had to do like a light.
Main sewer line replacement.
Yeah.
Main sewer line, I think we're spending like four
Dude,
grand
that's
on it.
cheap for a sewer line. Yeah.
And
That's badass.
Let's make 18,000 on that one too.
See, I got some cash. I'm ready to go buy some more real estate. But yeah, so Pablo was asking, they dialed their Facebook ads back a little bit because they had all of these deals. I would have said just keep running them because they know a bunch of investors. I'm an investor. They know a bunch of other investors that they're good at running these Facebook ads and good at getting these deals under contract. I say just keep running them, keep selling them. You know what I mean? That'd be my only recommendation. But Pablo's main question was, what do you do? Like, they're like when it comes to wholesaling, depending on where you guys live, you need to make sure that you're compliant with your state. We do stuff above board. We're compliant. Sellers know we're wholesaling. But at the same time, like we still feel an obligation when we put a deal under contract to close on that deal. Really what I would say is like the numbers just have to make sense where it's a no-brainer that if you couldn't wholesale it, you would just buy it. Every deal I put under contract, whether I'm going to wholesale it or close it, it's like they have to make sense for me to close on it, you know? Then that kind of reduces that stress load of can we sell this or not?
Yeah,
So,
just have different exit strategies.
yeah, exactly, 100%. So overall, simple flip. And what I like about this one is it's under 200,000 ARV, which in Oklahoma historically is just really good. Like you guys are going to move it. I remember when we walked through this, y'all were wanting to keep the tile. And I was like, y'all.
Paulo was going to slumlord it out.
I was like, I think the tile should
We
go.
went ahead and did everything. We put tile, got it from Lowe's as well. Again, this was our first flip, so we got kind of scared when our contractor put the tile in because at first it looks all crooked and stuff, and then they put the grout. I was freaking out. I was telling Paul, like, hey, we need to do something about this, like get someone else on the
Looks
tile.
good.
But yeah, ended up looking fine. Again, got to keep this countertop. new fixtures, new toilet. We were gonna keep the toilet, and we ended up just replacing it.
Nice. And then you guys just kept like this beater.
Yeah,
board
we
and
kept
stuff.
this. I guess it's a little bit in style.
Yeah. I mean, we painted that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just kept it and you know, rip it out. Pretty easy.
New faucet fixture.
Yeah, new faucets. We put a little.
Where'd you guys get them from?
We got those at Lowe's.
Would you guys pay like $300 for?
Yeah, like $250.
They look good at least. That is one thing, like if you guys are ordering, you just need to make sure you've got your materials on site, because once your contractor starts, they don't want to be sitting here waiting for materials to arrive. A, it's going to slow them down, and it may cost you more. It will cost you more because of holding costs and whatnot if you're waiting on them. And if you order up front too, like especially from Lowe's, if you do a bulk order over $1,500, if you're a Lowe's Pro member, you get what's called a VSP discount. They'll run it through VSP, and you usually get a discount on the entire order.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Lowe's does that. Home Depot does that as well. I just don't use Home Depot.
Yeah.
So Home Depot calls it like the bid room or something.
Okay. Yeah. Other than that, this is pretty much it. This room, we again went ahead and retextured.
Nice.
We put new fans up on every room in the living room as well. Replaced the
we fixed the doors. I think these were like falling or something.
yeah,
Nice.
and we replaced the frames on the doors too because they were all chewed up from dogs and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, pretty easy. And then the master bedroom up here.
When we bought it, they had recently replaced the windows.
Okay. This one just got cracked up.
One that wasn't replaced and it was cracked.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that little half bath.
You have the tile.
I want to point something out too. What I like about these cheaper, more affordable flips is like, hey, we're in Oklahoma. We know our market pretty well. It's a pretty hot market. I mean, it has slowed down over the last couple of years, but still overall it's a good market. But like little stuff like you see the grout's not clean, but it's not the end of the world. Like that's not gonna offend buyers. You know what I mean? But on a $400,000 flip, like that's probably not gonna fly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like about these more affordable deals in this price range. Also, I want to point out, we had looked at a couple deals. This type of flip here is perfect. It's on a slab, brick home, 322. You don't have to change any floor plans or anything. It's like just harder to mess up. And you have a bunch of comps as well. You know, like you're not trying to force comps one way or another. So I'm glad that this was like y'all's first legit flip.
Yeah, it was really easy.
We were talking about that yesterday, actually, that while we were like looking for our first deal, I think we were just like pretty hungry to find it.
Yeah.
And so we were like kind of scrambling everywhere, like, talking to all these kinds of wholesalers.
Yeah.
Looking at everything on the market and thinking, okay, this one has a little bit of meat on it, so let's go look at it. I'm glad we were patient on it though.
I feel like as new investors, there's either you're like really gung-ho, which is where you guys were at, we're like, we're gonna make a deal happen, or like people are really scared and they never pull the trigger. It's better to be on this side, but you just have to catch yourself not to like buy a shitty deal. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of just what we do on everything. We kind of jump into it.
Yeah. How old are y'all?
We are 23.
Dude, that's badass. That's awesome. And then before real estate, y'all own the car cleaning.
Yeah, so we've only been in real estate for about 2 years. We did detailing. I've been in it 4 years, and he's been in it 4 years.
So that means I'm faster.
Little bro. Little bro is what it is, huh?
Yeah, I'm a sensei.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, we were doing detailing. So we just jumped straight into real estate. We were on the sales side first, built the team for about 6 months, and they grew pretty quick too. And then we just jumped into investing. Luckily, Cam helped us out. We didn't have to really learn the hard way at all.
Appreciate that.
All we had to do was stick his marketing brain to finding a deal and use my experience that I have and putting something under contract, and we just use your brain for the rest of it.
Yeah, heck yeah. Dude. I appreciate it.
Really easy.
It is definitely possible to go get a deal on your own, but there are so many large mistakes that could be made. I mean, you can make them regardless, like it's just real estate investing, but the goal is to prevent majority of those like headaches, you know what I mean? Like you do one thing wrong, could cost you 10 grand when it comes to real estate investing, especially when most of us are leveraging debt. You know what I mean? Like you have more than just your cash at risk. You've got your cash and then you have the underlying debt underneath. And so you want it to go as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad for this one.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
turned out really well.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience, and one of the things, it's really just a shortcut to save yourself all that kick in the nuts. If you
Yeah.
put it that way.
For sure. What do you think caught you guys by surprise on this deal here?
Build a back porch.
Oh, let's go look at it. Let's go look at it.
Yeah.
It's pretty rotten.
Yeah.
You guys built it?
Yeah. we thought we were gonna again get caught on termite damage for this one, because I don't know if it was termite damage, but it looked like it. So we kept the actual boards that are just stuck in there. We ripped everything out, all the planks out, but we came out, put 16-inch boards on these, and it looks okay.
It looks okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
But anything that caught us by surprise was honestly the foundation. It looks a little wonky. But again, what mostly caught me by surprise is that the buyer didn't hit
ask
us
for
with anything.
Yeah,
that's what caught me by surprise, because I for sure, we accounted for a new roof replacement on this one. We were thinking about another $10,000. I think we could get it cheaper, honestly, but that's just what we put in there. It didn't come through.
That's where, like, I'm always trying to preach overestimate your rehab and underestimate your ARV, because it's like, when it comes to real estate investing, if you stick to those two principles, it makes it a lot harder to lose. Because in investing, it's like you toss around these large numbers. Like if you look at the house, you're like, oh, surely I could do that rehab for $25,000. It's like, that's a lot of money if you're not an investor. But when you start buying materials and then you start paying for labor, like that goes quickly, especially if you throw a $10,000 roof on top. So no, you guys got out good on this one, not having to do like any of the major mechanicals.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna spend what, 30,000? Probably. About 30.
I remember that.
14.
Dude,
12,
that's crazy
14.
to me.
Yeah.
They got a killer deal on their labor, which I don't think is normal for a lot of people, but all power to you guys.
Yeah.
You get, like, obviously you get it done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what matters at the end of the day.
100%. Proud of you guys for closing this one, closing the wholesale the other day, closing the wholesale tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's 3 deals in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how many that you guys scale up to do. Where can they find y'all at? I'll put it down below in the description. I'll put all this stuff in the description.
And like Kim said, we do a little bit of everything. We help primarily investors find creative routes out of their deal that they might have, whether it's just a tired landlord who's ready to just cash flow and not fix up anything through owner financing, but we also just help people through the retail side with his marketing brain. It's kind of easy to move deals quick, so we're open to helping anyone out. More than anything, help anyone grow as well. So if you're a realtor that wants to figure out how to maybe up your marketing or something like that, you know, we're open to any questions. We're open book. If there's anyone that's thinking about joining this group mentorship, this costs us $5,000, and for a lot of people that's pretty scary. But more than anything, it costs us $5,000, but out of it, we got about $80,000. So it's well worth it, like more than 10x your return. So if you're thinking about it, it's definitely worth it. Give it a shot. More than anything, you're not risking anything if you're just putting $5,000 into something to get $80,000 back.
Especially when you're backed up by a proven system like like what Cam's got going. It's definitely worth it.
I appreciate that, y'all. Hey, well, you guys did put the work in, so I appreciate y'all for that. Anyways, I hope that has value. We'll catch you guys later.